Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 198. We're a podcast that talks about pop culture things that interest us. And sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I'm joined as always by Andrea. How's it going?
Good. Just glad to have made it here. Did all my things for the night and scooted in a little late, but mostly on time.
Oh, no, we're good.
Been a busy day.
Made live within 15 minutes of showtime, so that's good, I think. But everybody pile in. We got a new place that you can pile in. We got Rumble here. So we're currently streaming right now to Twitch, X, YouTube, and Rumble. 4 places at once. You can be in any of the chats. Try to keep an eye out if you show up in there. And you can like, share, subscribe any of those places too. So a little bit more house cleaning before we jump into stuff. I just want to say too, like, if you notice any of these places, we got some more clips. I'm trying this new feature on Restream that uses AI to like select different clips and stuff and rates it on a score of 100 for virality, and or out of 10, whatever. And so it quickly will do it, and then you can adjust the title and all this sort of thing or whatever, and then share it to certain places. And I don't have a good, I don't really remember what we're doing with Facebook, not much presence there, but anyways, on YouTube, for sure, and X, I think those 2 places we've got clips that some of them are doing very well. So
what you're basically what you're basically telling me is I have to go and see what's been going on and what clips you've clipped of me, or AI has now clipped of me.
Yes,
check them out and see what could go viral. What does AI think could go viral?
Yeah, so I have a trial. It's just a free trial, but if anyone chooses to support us in any way, that's where, if this works out and I do that, then again, that money would go to that sort of thing, because they won't give me the AI clips for free. So
not forever, just long enough to get you a little taste of it.
Yeah, a little taste. So, well, we're gonna find out what we're tasting tonight. We'll go over our beverages.
Excellent transition, sir.
And see what else we've been sampling in terms of shows or books or whatever like that. But the main event, the main course, shall we say, is Fallout. Fallout Season 2. We're talking about the first half of the season, so it'll be the first 4 episodes. If you're further than that, I apologize. If you're not as far, I apologize. We're just, that's where we kind of both could get to, so we'll cover that.
Right, we're trying to Goldilocks it, right? Just in the middle, right.
Yeah. We can just stick with, food related metaphors and stuff all night.
Right. I mean, I really set the table when I started talking off about my dinner. So really, I've done this to us.
It's perfect. So anyways, look forward to it. Jump in, let us know your thoughts anywhere you may be watching. Before all that other fun with Fallout, let's get into the drink holidays.
Absolutely. I think the first is pretty much the most obvious. In 4 short days, it is going to be Super Bowl Sunday, and that is, pretty much every type of holiday here in the good old US of A. It's honestly, it should be a holiday, and so should the Monday after it, because apparently I read a news source once that said that the Monday after the Super Bowl is like the number 1 vacation day and the number 1 day that people call in sick to work. So it's the number 1 day to take some form of PTO, whether that be vacation, personal holidays, sick days, whatever have you at your work. But it's the number 1 day. So really, everybody should just get on the train. We recognize that people are just tired and hungover, either or, both and just make that Monday a holiday. So
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
just saying. Just saying.
Where is the Super Bowl playing this? Where can you watch it this year? Do we know?
The Super Bowl's on CBS.
CBS.
They're also going to. I also believe they're going to stream it on Paramount Plus. I don't know if that means they're streaming it like live and you can just log in that way, or if it's like something that they're going to put on Paramount Plus afterward for you to like rewatch. Because I've seen other streaming platforms that have hosted football games do both. So that piece I don't know. I haven't looked into it because I don't have Paramount Plus. So
a quick search. Watch on CBS.
yep.
Or sorry, NBC. Watch on NBC.
Oh.
Yeah. Where? Let's check this quickly here.
We can stream it on Peacock. Did I just like goof that up? Maybe.
It's Peacock instead of Paramount.
Yeah, Peacock instead of Paramount. Yeah, brain work real good. Andrea say things,
I would think,
make many
searching this
good points.
There'd be a nice, quick, simple answer, but everybody wants to, wants me to read an article.
Yes.
Get the word count in before I can actually see a thing. The suggested thing up top here from Bing says NBC. So I'm going with.
Well, yeah, I mean, they would never take it off of broadcast. You know what I mean? But
right. And then Peacock,
not something as big as a Super Bowl, but yeah. I was just wondering if they were also going to stream it through there for people who wanted to do that, who maybe like that interface, and then put it on like the streaming service later. Either like do one or the other, but anyway, you want to watch it, watch the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Should be a good one.
I have neither of those things.
It is also International Scotch Day, so like really just hammering home the fact that like this is a drinking day. February 8th on Sunday.
Is that going to be, are you going to drink scotch on the Super Bowl? I feel like would be an uncommon.
It would be uncommon. And also every time I think of scotch, I think of Anchorman. Scotchy, scotch, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly. So, no, I probably won't be drinking scotch. I tend to have something sippable, and light and refreshing because, Super Bowl food is usually pretty heavy. Whether it's real food or it's snacks, it's usually tend to be greasy or heavy. So you really just want something lighter to kind of balance that out. So I'm sure I'll have something fizzy.
Okay.
Speaking of fizzy, the next drink holiday is also an actual holiday. February 14th, it is Valentine's Day. I think it's, pretty accepted tradition to celebrate that with a glass of champagne or sparkling wine or non-alcoholic sparkling wine.
Sure.
So speaking of the fizz, I am actually celebrating that holiday for my drink holiday with nothing fizzy, but with something pink. I made a little pink drink. I made homemade hibiscus lemonade. So I just thought like that would be a little fun nod to Valentine's Day and something unusual. So
nice. Yeah, that sounds good.
Cheers to that.
No doubt. Mm-hmm.
Yep. A couple days later, February 17th this year is Mardi Gras Day. Obviously there's nothing officially associated with that, but I think Mardi Gras, New Orleans, Hurricanes, Sazerac, those are my like go-to thoughts. So if you are a Mardi Gras celebrator, you might want to raise a glass of one of those things. And if you're into low effort things, you're in luck because the following day, February 18th, it is Drink Wine Day. And that's about one of the easiest things you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wine, any wine, I guess.
Wine, anytime. I felt like when I saw that day, I was like, oh, that'd be so easy to do that for celebrating a drink holiday. And I was like, no, Andrea, rise above, do something, be different. So we have a pink drink.
Hibiscus. Yeah. Perfect. Well, my drink is, in the right light, nearing pink.
Yes. Come now. These are very close
Yeah.
together.
So,
What do you
non-alcoholic
got first,
again. I just
John?
made a little mocktail thing.
I did too.
Because I can't drink until Valentine's Day if I choose to drink then. I have not, I'm not drinking, smoking. I noticed no difference. There's not, I just think I don't have enough of these things to affect me in any way.
Sure.
So, but anyways, stick to it, get through Valentine's Day here. But I just have now, it's like a sparkling grape beverage. So
Okay.
basically it'd be like having, you know, sparkling wine, but for kids, basically. And then
Oh,
ginger ale, lemon juice, and that's it. Super simple.
so is the grape beverage then that color, or a
I mean, it's
like
diluted a little bit because
pinkish?
of the lemon juice and the ginger ale.
Sure,
So
but
it's
I mean,
not
you still kind of got
quite
to get that
this
reddish
light.
hue in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so I was waiting for you to say something like pomegranate juice, or
Right.
like a cranberry juice or something to get that like red hue in there.
Yep. I would have liked some cranberry for some extra tartness, but that is not in our house right now. So, but
Gotcha.
it's good, refreshing. Anybody out there, let us know if you're drinking or celebrating any of these holidays with us. We've been watching, been sipping
Fallout.
cocktails along with Fallout. Yeah.
A lot of Fallout. I'd watched season 1 so long ago that I watched the last episode again to kind of like remind myself. They did a good recap, so I probably really
Yes.
didn't need to. But just to get myself back in the feel of it, back in the style of speaking, the visuals, make sure I was acquainted with all the characters and big plot points that happened. So really, I've watched 5 episodes of Fallout recently.
Okay.
So that took quite a bit of my time. What else? I watched, for any of you out there who are fans, I watched the new Bridgerton season that dropped on Netflix. They're doing a half and half. So I watched 1 through 4. They'll do 5 through 8 later this year. I have very mixed feelings about this particular season. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. I have very mixed feelings about it. There are some really
I've
good,
heard
fun
the
things.
same.
Yeah, okay, so I'll briefly touch on it. So each season of Bridgerton focuses on a different sibling of a family and their journey to find like love, and this mirrors the way that the books are written. It's originally a book series, and it focuses on each sibling at one time and like tells their love story. So the main pairing for this season is actually pretty good. I enjoy their story. I like the actors a lot, and I think they have pretty decent chemistry. It's not like the best I've ever seen, but it's good. It's solid. There is a like side plot that is going to involve another sibling, and I think it's like really ruining their coming season and their coming story. And so I'm very disappointed about it, especially someone who read all the books and really loved the series from a literary standpoint. Loved the way this particular story was told, and now I'm feeling set up for some disappointment. So I
Okay.
don't love that.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Season 4
is
of
what
that
it
already.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, season 4 of that already. Man, it's like one of those shows that sneaks up on me, where it feels like, man, we just had this, but then I realize, oh man, it's been a year. So no, we haven't just had
Sure.
this.
Yeah, there's something still weird about, and I guess it's just like you got to live in whatever ecosystem that is. But I feel like Netflix just relies on you opening Netflix and then showing you something new that they think you'll like, or based on your previous. But if you
Very
don't
true.
open Netflix, I mean, the show kind of has to blow up or something for you to even know it exists, because
Yes.
it's not anywhere else, and that's
Yeah.
weird
They really
to me.
don't advertise the way other streaming platforms do. I feel like, when I watch other things or I even watch like live TV or like pre-recorded shows or whatever, there's so much advertising for other stuff. And I just barely see Netflix every once in a while, like, oh, hey, you have one
Yeah.
too.
They must just determine, that their marketing budget is best spent elsewhere, as
Hmm.
opposed to trying to seek out, is using it to try to seek out new people all the time. Just putting forth in front of their customers already, rely on that word of mouth. Merchandise shows up in stores for the big things, sometimes or whatever. But
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like Netflix is really, their game is retention and what can we
right.
do with the customer base we've already built, because they've been established the longest. And I don't feel like they have to worry about gaining new people as much as other streaming platforms do. So
Yeah.
they really just are like, what can we do to get more money out of you, but also keep you? And how do we get really creative about, getting you to pay those like little price hikes every once in a while,
Mm.
or, now that they've been cracking down on,
Password sharing.
really continue to crack down on password sharing. Like, how can we, offer you some sort of like enticement to stay, or, like, we understand it's really hard to break off and get your own account. Maybe we'll make you like a sub account where you have to pay something, but
Mm.
it's not as much. They've got all kinds of stuff. So
I wonder how many people have Netflix as their only streaming service. Like, I wonder if that's a fair percentage. That maybe I bet there's a bunch of boomers yet and stuff or whatever that have.
mhm.
They have satellite or cable television or something, and then they have one streaming service, and that's
Yeah.
Netflix. Something
Yeah,
like that.
and I wonder how much that question would change if you said, "Do you have one streaming service?" or if you had one regular streaming service? Because I feel like it would be, answer might be different depending on if people think, "Oh, I only have one ever," or if I only have one regular one and then I sign up and cancel a
Oh,
bunch.
they jump
You know what
back
I
and
mean?
forth. Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. Like, I have Netflix as my one steady, always I have it, but sometimes I
Yeah.
sign up for Peacock and sometimes I sign up for Paramount and then I cancel. I
Yeah.
wonder if that answer would be different depending on how you
Yeah.
phrase that.
I bet for sure Netflix is the number one. I mean, number one in a lot of ways, but number one guaranteed subscription
Mhm,
for millions and millions of people over anything
mhm.
else. So that one's
Yeah.
just a given. And then, yeah, we kind of play around with some other ones.
Mhm.
So that's where you
And
want
yeah,
to
that
be as a
was
streaming service, the indispensable
exactly.
one that you
Exactly.
don't even
The
think
one we
about it.
don't
That one's
cut.
just happening. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't just like sign up for a month and then quit it, or, oh, I'll
Yeah.
sign up for this one show length and then, give it up. Which I wonder now is part of the reason why, sometimes they do shows as 1 week at a time releases again instead of bingeable
Oh,
things, so that people have to sign
totally.
up for
I
longer.
would think
It,
so.
I mean, it seems so obvious now that I say it out loud, but it just like didn't really, fully formed consciously cross my mind until this moment
Well,
that,
they
like,
made their image with the binge watch.
right,
So, and a lot of people came to rely on that. So
right.
it's a change of identity that way. But
And they
yeah,
definitely still do it. It's just like it's
yeah,
just sort of solidifying in my mind that, like, not for the big things anymore. Those are weekly things, and it makes sense.
yep,
Or they drop pieces and then they make you wait like a month to get the other
yeah.
half. And it's like,
And
that's, so you're not going to sign off and sign back on again because that's a hassle. So you just keep it.
that's the thing, signing up and then, subscribing and unsubscribing, unless you're allowed to do it through something like Apple or Amazon, it's a
Mhm.
pain in the butt
Yep.
often, you know.
Yep.
Not only do you have to like try, I was trying to change my Disney subscription the other day because I don't need ESPN anymore
Sure.
because UFC is on Paramount now. And so I'm trying to go and adjust it. And like, okay, it's not on this. I don't see it on the app. Like, where do I go? I end up like searching for where do I, do a Google search of where I
Mhm.
can change
Yep.
this and then
And
figure
I'm
it
not
out.
laughing at you because I would be in the exact same boat. I'm just laughing at like the absurdity because of course they
Yeah.
do this. Of course they make it difficult for you to be like,
Yep.
where do I go? How do I get there? You
Yeah.
know, my dad was trying to check one of his TVs the other day for like its compatibility with a couple of different streaming apps. And oh my God, we
Mm.
must have been through like 60 screens before we found the right place to even find out if he could get it. And it was just
Okay.
like, oh my God, this is so silly. And I'm sure like it works the other way too. You have to go through these like 60 screens if you would ever want to like sign off of it or like cancel it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh my
Right.
God, it's so complicated. But
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. We have multiple devices we can choose to stream from, but it seems like so many people use apps from their TV
mhm.
directly. And historically, I hate that. I never do that. Like I always use a gaming console or Apple TV or something. A lot of people use a Fire Stick or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. But traditionally, the processors and TVs are so slow that it's just a nuisance to sit there and go between stuff or whatever. And then it's filled with ads, just like ads everywhere, So I never, but a lot of people use the PlayStation. The PlayStation has so few apps. Like that's my big thing is like how many people stream exclusively using the PlayStation, but it's missing stuff. Like I don't think there's a Peacock app on the PlayStation,
That's
which is
interesting.
crazy to me. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
on the Xbox, and the Xbox
Yeah.
has less than half the user base of a PlayStation. So
Yep.
why would Peacock
yeah.
not make an app for them?
That is
It's
one
just
thing I
gotta
will
be
give the
because everybody.
Xbox. Yeah, we stream through it downstairs on our system, and dang if it doesn't have it all.
Yeah, I know it's got them all, pretty much. So, okay, well,
Good old fashioned streaming rant. We haven't had one of those in a while.
I know. Yeah, it's been a minute.
We were due. Stepping away from streaming, but also keeping in the literary world. I've been doing a little light reading in the Bond universe. I continued Goldfinger, moving ahead in that because we'd both been recommitted to it prior to our recent Bond discussion. So I was like, I gotta finish this. This is getting silly.
Yeah.
And then I still had the For Your Eyes Only collection of short stories that we'd read for that. And I started the Hildebrand Rarity because I love the title. It sounded like a Sherlock Holmes mystery. So I was just like, ooh, I dig it. So I started that one.
Okay, nice.
I literally just decided I was going to do that today. So I'm not finished. It seems silly because it's just a short story, but I just didn't have the time.
Okay.
But I wanted to get it started.
Yeah. No, while the mood hits.
Yes.
Speaking of Bond, are you going to buy the new Macallan whiskey that's Diamonds Are Forever?
Absolutely.
It's only like $800 a bottle.
Because I have that.
Yeah. So they just released.
I have it lying around. It's in my pocket right now.
Right. They've been doing this line of different Bond scotches and stuff or whatever, and for the anniversary or something. Now there's a Diamonds Are Forever one, and I just really don't like that movie. So, fortunately, that doesn't tempt me. But okay, well that's good. I need to get on reading Goldfinger again yet too. I did do a little reading, pretty light, really, in terms of I don't know, light words even, because I'm reading the Fantastic Four comic books from the beginning.
Right.
So the movie really got me into. Again, I was just shocked how much I like that movie. So I've been delving into more Fantastic Four stuff, and started from the beginning. I read the first 16 issues so far. Yeah, really introduced quite a bit of stuff in there that characters and stuff that stick around. Namor, Doctor Doom, that kind of thing. So it's been fun. Like, it's just tough at first, but now it's been fun. Knowing what I'm into. It's just, it was a different time. There were simpler stories in a lot of ways, and definitely has all those trademarks of manga and stuff that I don't like, of the over explaining and the ridiculous dialogue and stuff, just to get the point across to kids that are supposed to be reading it. So
Sure.
But still been having a fun time, blast for the past. But then a more recent Fantastic Four comic book that I picked up that I'm quite excited about is this guy.
Ooh, that is a cool cover.
Yes. So this is Fantastic Four Full Circle by Alex Ross. So if anyone is aware of Alex Ross, which they should be if you like comic books or art, he is considered, one of the masters. He has a distinct style. He paints all his stuff. This is his I'll show. I'll show a little bit of the inside too, or whatever. But
sure,
I hadn't heard of this. I always find that interesting. I look up like the must-read stories from any sort of run of anything, and then they miss out on stuff. So, anyways, this is a gorgeous book. It's a one-shot collected story, and it's just, I love Alex Ross's perspective on superheroes, like his idea that they're the modern mythology, and so all of them, he always draws them sort of as a Greek god, but not like, he has like good proportionality, realistic proportionality, and then their suits are got to be skin tight, because it's just like he doesn't put his people in armor and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's I was very happy with the story. It harkens back to like a classic kind of space adventure thing that the Fantastic Four would do, and then they try to give you a little bit of some deeper thoughts just at the end. But
sure,
yeah, I highly recommend. See if there's another. There's so many good pages. I won't show them all, but
yeah, I like this color scheme here.
Yeah, there's lots of like
green.
Let's see if there's like this.
And I like you've shown several perspectives with like all four of them, but they're lined up in like kind of hero face off, but in different way. They're presented in different ways, like on the page, like all together, side by side panels, like tilted angles and stuff like that. So I like that. Just definitely playing with your perspective.
Yeah, it's it flows nice, it reads well, the colors are great, the characters are all well realized. There's a little bit of a horror element to it. It's not actually like scary, but there's a little bit going on there. And so highly recommend if you feel like picking up a single thing, just get a taste of what the Fantastic Four is if you're maybe a little more unfamiliar with them or something. That can be always a hard thing to do, to recommend people for American comics. Like, what should I read if I want to just read something and not be plopped in the middle of anywhere, So, and then one more thing I'll bring up that is related, because I'm thinking about doing this if I can manage to wait long enough. I bought a box of trading cards.
Love it.
Yeah. So it's a Marvel box set for like 2025. She features on here like Mr. Fantastic, Galactus on the one side, and some people from the Thunderbolts on another. So
there's something going on with Mr. Fantastic's face.
It's got there's a Topps text on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that, because I was definitely like half of his face. Like
Yeah.
what happened there? But I gotcha.
So I've got a couple of these boxes. One more's coming, and I'm like, a bunch of these cards I might not care about at all. I'm buying this to
Mhm.
get Fantastic Four cards, but they don't make those
Sure.
separately. So I thought about perhaps, if I have the time, doing a podcast live and opening the cards, going through
Do a
them,
little
see
unboxing.
what we get one by one.
Yes.
If there's any autographs or anything special in there, whatever, that kind of thing. And
Yes,
then
I
I can
like
use
it.
that to discuss like my thoughts on the current state of Marvel, and maybe I get a bunch of things I don't from movies I don't like, or who knows. It could be very disappointing or it could be very cool. So
Yes. Yes.
that's
I
the
like
fun
it.
of it, I guess.
Yes. Well, that's the excitement of going live. Little Forrest Gump over there. You never know what you're going to get.
Yep. That's right. So if you're interested in that, anyone, let me know. Okay. We should talk about the main event. Main topic here. Fallout
Indeed.
Season 2, episodes 1-4, the first half of
Mhm.
that season. Andrea, you said you watched the first season quite a while ago.
I did.
I did as well. You were good and responsible. Went back and checked to look at the last episode. I just plowed forward. But watching
Well,
this
I
always,
mean, I do want to say before we start that there could be, some level on my part of, I got to remember things because I haven't played any of the Fallout video games. Have
sure,
you played? I don't remember if you said
only
or not.
yeah, only a little bit. So
Okay.
I feel like I have quite a bit of familiarity because Ashley has played a lot of Fallout. And there was
Right.
definitely a time in
Yes.
our life when like we would watch each other play a lot of games and stuff like that. And
Yes.
so I've seen a
Pre-kids.
lot of yeah, yeah, not as much now, unless it's
Mhm.
something that's super cute that maybe they'll pay attention to, for a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I've seen a lot of Fallout that way, and then I played a little bit of Fallout 76, which
Okay.
I actually
Sure.
really like, and I would totally get back into or whatever. I tried getting into Fallout 4, just wasn't in it. I just didn't have the patience for it at the time. So,
Sure.
but watching this show always makes me want to jump back into some Fallout game because it's
I could
so
totally see that.
the game. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I like with Last of Us, I'd never played Fallout before I decided to watch the show and, kind of just like jumped in, heard it was really good. Another of our friends had watched it and it really had rave reviews. I can't remember if it was Tony or Mike. Um, but
both of
yeah,
them.
so
Yeah.
just both of them. Okay. So yeah, so I just was like, yeah, I did the same with Last of Us and it worked out well. So I'll roll the dice again. And I liked this as well. So um just kept going. But yeah, I wanted to watch the final episode of the first season because I just have so much less familiarity with the world. I really wanted to get myself back in the mindset, back with the characters before jumping into the new season.
Nice. Yeah. So, I mean, there really is a lot to remember. There's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff that's going on in here. There's a lot of, the promotions are always showing you Maximus, Lucy, and the Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
They always forget about Lucy's brother too. Like that's another
Norm,
plot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole another thing that's still there. And I think the show does a good job of weaving these things together. And then also the past,
Mm-hmm.
showing the ghouls past. And then we still have villains to contend with too. So um, there's a lot going on in the show, and I definitely didn't remember like the ins and outs of it. Maybe there's a couple things you can refresh me on, but we're covering 1-4 here. So yeah, good notes on the first ones. I kind of skipped, but we so we join up with Lucy and the ghoul going out hunting for her father. There's a whole
Yes.
thing at the end of season 1. Maximus gets like knocked out. He goes unconscious, and Lucy and the ghoul take off in search for him. And the whole kind of deal with this is not knowing what Lucy plans to do when she finds her father. And so we're trying to figure out we see kind of what her father is up to and what's going on there. We got a new villain that's introduced that's running New Vegas. It seems like, and then so we get some more like the ghoul in his past spying on his wife and stuff like that. And then we have Maximus that's just kind of adrift. He doesn't know. He was like into Lucy, and maybe something was gonna be a thing there. They found she kind of gave him hope that, oh, hey, there's good people out there. It doesn't have to be this way that I've been familiar with now for a while. But we get his past a little bit, see where he's come from, and now see the chaos that is about to ensue amongst his adoptive family here, the Brotherhood of Steel. So that's kind of our little encapsulation of what's happening here
summation.
So far. All right, good.
Yes. Yeah. Good summation. That's, I feel like a lot of the carryover plot from the last episode. I think maybe two quick things I would add to that are, the whole last season was about getting the relic, and everybody was like after it. We didn't know what it was. And then the last season we revealed Moldaver, our kind of, wild card rebel leader, successfully created cold fusion. And that's what they were after, was this technology. And Maximus took it for the Brotherhood. They have it now. So there was clearly going to be continuing fights over that resource, both, we see within the Brotherhood and without. And then the other, I think, key piece is, like you said, there was maybe something between Lucy and Maximus last season. And he basically went back to the Brotherhood and ignited them to go get this relic. And he was doing it for her, because he was going to go rescue her. And then they got there, and he got knocked out by her dad, and then just sort of like gave up. So I really, I found that really hard this season, that he was so just like, whatever, when he doesn't even know. You know what I mean? Like, we as an audience saw Lucy choose to leave with the ghoul to go track down her dad, and she was like, I'll come back for you. He was still stone cold unconscious at that point, but he somehow decided that waking up to her not being there was her choice, which it is. But he doesn't know that. So I started off the season a little mad at his like, meh, nothing matters attitude.
Sure.
And just, it's like, go along to get along. The Brotherhood is where it belongs. Shouldn't have stepped outside of anything. When last season he felt all like rebel wild card for love.
Right. Didn't he have a friend talking in his ear about like, well, where is she then, kind of thing? Like, see, she left you too, or something, isn't that? Am I imagining that? I thought that was part of the whole thing. Like, he wakes up and then he's got a buddy that's throwing cold water on this idea. Like, well, if she was that into you and stuff, then where'd she go?
Because I don't think it would be Dane, his closest actual friend, because Dane in this season is very like, what happened to your girl? What happened to going to get that? What's happening to you? So I don't think it would be. Did Moldaver, before she like died, say something about she'll leave you too? Because she. Do you know what I mean? Like, did she make a wrong comment that it got interpreted? I don't remember that dialogue as she was dying super well. Other than her like holding Lucy's mom's hand and being like, "We did it." Yeah. So that's certainly possible.
Maybe not.
like either way it goes, I just felt like Maximus
Yeah.
was very like easily persuaded. Whereas, like I said, last season he was definitely like going to get the girl, riding in, knight on a white
Yeah.
horse or a silver vertibird, and I'm gonna get it. Gonna
Yeah,
rescue.
I think they needed to maybe have a thing where they show the difficulty of him leaving the Brotherhood of Steel. Like show him that
Mhm.
this organization that just doesn't let that happen,
Right.
So if he's trying to get away and they just like are gonna pull him back, and it's like, well, either die or do, be our bitch again, But he's like kind of,
Yeah.
all of a sudden hailed as a hero,
Yeah.
So that changes things too. All of a sudden, he's, like he's looking for a place to belong, and then everybody says he's a great hero and stuff, and chanting his name. So, I
Yeah,
guess
I
that's
feel like I was missing a bridge. I was missing a transition. Either he wants to run away and the Brotherhood keeps pulling him back and being like, "No, you're our hero, like come back here or, we'll kill you or we'll kill your friend." And so it needs to be that sort of situation. Or I wanted to maybe see him a little bit more seduced by the "I'm a hero now," because Dane proclaims it. He's killed Moldaver and everybody gets excited and he's sort of like, "Oh no, 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 like it's a mistake. I didn't really do it." It's not the strongest of protests, but he does initially kind of back away from that a little bit, and he doesn't seem ready to like fully embrace Maximus the
right.
hero. So
Yeah.
I felt like I needed a little bit more explanation for his transition, because this season, like you said, he's very adrift. He's feeling
Mhm.
aimless, less passionate, very, very bleh as a character.
Yeah.
Um, and he's had a few good moments, but really just nothing exciting for me this season.
Okay. That's just see. Season one, I had a real problem with Maximus because he just seemed kind of dull. He's like a little bumbly and not
Mhm.
didn't seem like he fit in really there. And then, we see the world he's a part of, and he's ready to stab people in the back and whatever, and he's cowardly and all that sort of thing. But he sort of has he has a trajectory, and he
Yeah.
has an arc, and he starts like, yeah, again, Lucy kind of turns him around. It starts that process, and like then he's starting to like make sacrifices and do dangerous things. And then in this season, I guess I didn't think of it at the beginning, but we get his a little bit of his backstory, which adds a real
Yes.
emotional
Oh
elements
God,
to
that
like.
was heartbreaking. Oof.
Mhm. And so that made me empathize with him a lot more. And
Mhm.
and and then he has a really cool scene where they're trying to welcome in the high priest guy is like, "Oh, you're so great, you're my son," all this sort of thing, and then he goes and he very impressively kills this guy that is much larger and stronger than he is.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I start to be in the process of empathizing with him more, liking him more, and then he still turns out to be so naive and
Mhm.
malleable, and
Mhm.
that's where I'm just
Yes.
like, can this change it? Because be your
Backbone.
own. Yes, you know, I
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the whole thing like, oh, you never be mad that you like chose to not take a life, was kind of the line to him at this last episode. It's like, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't think
Like,
I don't agree. Especially Quintus, like he can go, man. He's
yeah.
he's lame.
I mean, you got
Um
to be able to see this, and like he's killed if it's for the right reasons. The other guy who's just showed up as a guest role all of a sudden out of nowhere, coming from the East
yes.
Coast, and he's gonna kill these kids, and so he stops them. That's the
Yes.
right time.
Yes.
So
Yeah. If you'll read my notes on that scene, I was like, "Oh no, they're about to go Anakin on these younglings. Don't let him
yes.
do it."
Hmm.
So yes, that was a great moment for Maximus. I mean, it took him dang long enough, but He did. He grew a spine and he was like, absolutely not. Like, I don't care that this is in our holy book, that these are abominations. These are kids. I can't
Yep.
do this and I won't let you. But then, with all of that, he still like backs down. He doesn't even end up killing Quintus, even though he explains to him, he's like, here was my choice. Here's my litmus test. Are you also going to say these are children, I can make an exception, or are you sticking to the book? And I think we all could have guessed,
Yep.
Quintus would have stuck to it. But that's the point where we say, okay, I offered you a chance. Here was my morality line. Now I see where yours is. Finish the job. Finish
Yep.
the job. Yes, because he started shit and then he ran away. And now everybody else is going to deal with it. And that just like it, like you say, I start to empathize. I start to admire. I start to finally root for him. And then something happens to just flip it the other way. I'm like, dang it. Where was all of this potential? Now it's over here and I'm mad at you because, here's your big character flaw.
Yep.
Yeah. His journey's been very frustrating to watch.
Well, another character that for me had a frustrating journey is Lucy, because I tell you, in the first season, I was all about Lucy. As it's fun to see her being surprised by the world out there and dealing with that and coping with it, all that sort of thing. And in this season now, I'm like, what a piece of shit partner you are. I'm like, if I was the ghoul, holy buckets, you're lucky to be alive yet. He clearly sees a need for her yet with dealing with her father and stuff, or there's a element of, goodness there yet that he's, because he's put his life in her hands.
Yes.
Multiple times here. We give first shown she's counting on her to shoot him down the rope that he's going to be hung from. And you just sit there and dawdle on that.
Yeah.
And then you go and save a stranger that he warns you about, and you leave him there to just deal with it himself. Hopefully you'll be back. I'm like, this is too far. This is ridiculous behavior.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't there right away, but you are absolutely correct. Like, I got there. The first time where she doesn't shoot him, it was like so early on. I was like, oh, she is trying to do her like, just can we work it out thing. I would have preferred her to like decide that sooner, but I got it. It was comedic. It shows like, the imbalances in their partnership and the differences of their natures. Ha ha. But yeah, when she saves this stranger and she's like, you'll be fine, I did start to get annoyed with her, and which then developed further over the next, pieces of the episodes, because she really has some deep prejudices. And even though the ghoul has showed up for her and taken care of her, she has a line somewhere that I wrote down, just something about like, who counts as a person and who's going to be saved and what people matter. And it's very clearly a slight about like, hey, I'm going to save this stranger because she's people and I don't consider.
Oh, right.
It just sort of hints at like him not being the right type of people. And I was like, dang, that's gross. You should be above that. You're so pure and innocent and following the golden rule in so many other scenarios. I just like didn't have time for those prejudices. If you're gonna live by the golden rule, then it has to be, the golden rule is about treatment, not about who you are or what type of being you are. With like smooth skin versus like, oh, you're a ghoul. I don't think that matters. It doesn't matter. It's how you behave and how you act. So yeah, I steadily got more annoyed with Lucy, and then the ghoul kept coming back to save her. She gets herself in this silly situation with the Legion, which as a viewer, I was happy about because Macaulay Culkin had the most hilarious guest appearance over those couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Chris was watching with me and he was like, is it, does that look like Macaulay Culkin? And I was like, oh yeah, it is. I was like, I can't explain all of this to you right now, but just know it's good. Yeah. And he, obviously the ghoul cures himself after being stung by the scorpion and goes in after her. Like, she got herself in this mess. She's now strung up on a crucifix, Roman legion style punishment. And he still is like, I'm going to walk in here and save her when she wouldn't save me.
Yep.
Damn. Just that whole moment, I was like, he is so much better than you right now, girl.
Yep. Because as much as he maybe needs her for what's to come, she definitely needs him too.
Way more.
His know-how and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean, this season is a little less clear to me. Her role in the partnership. I felt like the first season they spell it out at different points, like why she is super valuable to him. And this season it feels like, yes, I still understand that she is valuable. It's just not like as clear because I feel like their mission is a little bit more vague, or like what they're going to do is a little bit more vague. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we don't know exactly what the ghoul wants to my understanding. He's ready to put a bullet in Hank's head, but he's always asking, what are you going to do when you find your father? Mm-hmm. So we get her mission there. What does he want to do exactly? Is he looking for, I don't know.
I mean, he's looking for his family. I know he's looking for like information on what happened to them, but like, it's still just.
I guess he's the best resource possible, someone like him, an overseer kind of thing or something. That's probably the best you're going to get. Someone that works for Vault-Tec and all that sort of thing. Yeah, that makes sense. That, where else are you going to look for leads, I guess.
Right. Yeah, Hank probably doesn't know, but he's a good starting point. So I get it. It just feels like he doesn't need Lucy to ask him that. You know what I mean? Is he going to use Lucy maybe as an emotional bargaining chip?
Right.
It like I said, last season we got it spelled out very clearly, like, I need this technology. I need your brain. I need, X, Y, and Z. So it was just more clear about how their partnership worked. And this season feels a little like, not really.
Well, they've had one instance so far where, other than the emotional thing we've talked about now, is like her Pip-Boy on her arm. I mean, she's able to unlock vaults and do different things and stuff. Right. Having that with her and stuff, and having some know-how of that world. So it could come in handy different times.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Lucy, get your act together. I guess she's on drugs now. She's taken some buff out, so that's tweaking her a little bit. We'll see. That was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, her. What did I say about that? Oh, Lucy brings a can-do attitude to everything, even drug addiction. She's very peppy on drugs. I find this amusing. I hope it ends soonish, but I find it amusing for now.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, you can't.
Her embrace of the drugs and the violence that comes with it was.
I mean, the addiction in the game happens quickly and stuff, and you just keep taking them. You just sure. You do. It's your health and stuff. So, she just has to keep taking it, so long as it doesn't become like too much of a focal point anymore. It just becomes a normal thing. Right. It's like we don't think about the ghoul, necessarily needing anything other than like some radiation stuff or whatever, but typically that's not what we're concerned about. So.
Right. And I mean, that's a convenient plot narrative now and again. So I wouldn't mind if, this becomes the same thing. I just don't want it to be like a focal point the whole time.
Yep. So then, we should talk about than the ghoul. And we get more of his backstory. And I think that they did a really good job of like tying in. So like he meets House, you know, and in the past, he's being
Yep.
asked to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's at this like memorial thing, and they show him like him getting this lighter. And then after that sort of memory, you know, we see again, Lucy's like, is there a soul in there? Don't you have, where's your morality? You know, and we know he has lived a different life and been a different person. And so then flashing back from that to then, and when it appears he's giving up the New California Republic, he's instead starting war between the split faction of the Legion there. So
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I did not see that plot twist coming. So kudos. That was well done. I was for a brief moment disappointed, though I would have understood it more. Just with his kind of like wild card background, whereas, you know, a similar action in someone like Max, I sort of take as like a character flaw or something different. Whereas the ghoul, it's just sort of like he's unpredictable. Sometimes I just really don't know where he justifies his moral compass. You know, and if like the death of two people would save one, or, you know, the death of two people would be like, oh, I'm gonna go get Hank McClane and Voltec, like it's worth it in the end. It's hard to know sometimes. It's not that he has none, it's just like, how do they evolve?
Yeah. No, I you know, I like seeing Lucy as that. Again, she's kind of messing up in the season, but I like seeing her as that grounded figure that, you know, the outside world looks as ridiculous because of how sheltered they are, but they leave an impact. So she left an impact on Maximus that now seems to be waning, or I don't know what, but I'm hoping the same happens for the ghoul. And that's what I feel is happening. Certain things are bringing him down memory lane. He's, you know, seeing someone that's good it's inspiring him because it's in there, you know. It's like Darth Vader, you know. Like, Father, I can sense the good in you.
Yes.
I think so. He's gonna have these moments where it's like he chooses to do the right thing, and it's like, yeah, he might have done something stupid, but he might have done something right too. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, like you said, I'm enjoying the balance that the show has created between the present and the past, especially with regard to the ghoul. Yeah, I like the way that his storyline advances in both timelines, and we're getting more information as an audience. And then also, you know, in this last episode, we got glimpses of him in the armor, you know, from his time fighting the war. We're learning a little bit more about that. We're learning how he knows so much about, you know, how to defeat the Brotherhood, which is something I think about all the time now as they go into battle scenes with each other. I'm like, the weakness. But then also it did a nice tie in past and present when he's stuck in the armor and he sees this like creature that Voltec has clearly been experimenting with come out and kill a bunch of people. Yeah. And then it comes up in the present too, and he's just like, oh my God, I'm frozen and I'm trapped in the like terror of this memory being faced with this thing. It was such a great connection between the two.
Yeah, it was. And the shocker for me in this is, I guess my lack of Fallout knowledge, it's not going deep enough. The Deathclaw showing up pre, you know, like during the war and pre the apocalypse, basically.
Yeah.
Was a surprise to me because I thought it was a creature that had been mutated. You know, that's the whole idea they do with it's like, oh, it's a mutation that from all the Fallout and it made weird creatures.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But having instead, like you say, being some sort of experiment pre that by Vault-Tec or whomever,
Mhm.
was something I just wasn't aware of and hadn't thought of. So I was shocked to see it. Alan says it's an experiment from the U.S. government. So
Yeah,
the death clock.
I think the show does a really nice job of keeping certain things vague that they can play with without it feeling not explained, but then also not like backing themselves into a corner by just proclaiming like in this world all these
Yes.
creatures were mutated by they don't say big definitive statements, so they don't have to be like, oh, just kidding, we have to backtrack that. um and they do a lot of like hinting at Voltec operations, and they say a lot of like, oh, these experiments, we're continuing the experiments, these are the new experiments. So they give you a lot of play, as an audience to kind of like imagine what has Voltec been doing. Sure, this seems like it could fit into their pre-war work or nuclear event work, or this might be after. I like that the show really leaves a lot of things open without it feeling too open-ended. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I think that, I'm appreciating things that put you in a world and you just have to accept some stuff. We just have to go along, but I think that works if you have competent writers that you feel like they're smart enough that everything they're doing makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
I don't have to be able to make sense of it right now, but I believe that it does. Like,
Mhm.
that's important. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think they're doing a good job with that. Alan shared this here. Yeah, death clause experiments of the United States government they were going to be used as battlefield soldiers. So in the wake of the war, they escaped into the wild, and their population exploded. And now they're the most terrifying thing around. So
Yeah. To be fair, that beast did look terrifying.
mhm.
I said, damn, that is a scary beast.
Yes. So a lot of other, little good stuff. I liked a little side story of the guy that's, his friend that realized he was a ghoul last season, and now he's running this little sweatshop, but it's also like good for the kids, it's like in this
Yes.
world, we're making something, and what do we always say? Most kids would be dead by this age.
Mhm.
There's so stuff like that, and then we have to get into also the stuff within the vaults yet, and then the newly
Yeah.
escaped people and stuff like that. So we've
Yes.
got this whole sort of thing like a water shortage in Vault 33.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a deal with the newly appointed eye patch woman for Vault 32, 2 or
Yep.
1, I forget.
32.
And
31 is where Norm ends up.
okay.
Because he was
Okay,
like,
yeah.
why are all our managers from Vault 31? Like, why are all our overseers? What is
Yeah.
in there? Nobody's been in there.
Mm-hmm. And so that's been really interesting. I kind of forgot about exactly how the relationship between Chip and Eye Patch Woman was, a sort of weird thing, because the baby isn't, he's so afraid of her,
Yes.
So I forgot how that all went down in season 1.
Yes. Yes. So her husband got killed when Moldaver and the Raiders invaded, Vault
And she
33.
wasn't sad about it.
I mean, yeah, she was sad-ish. She was very enraged. She was definitely like in kill mode when the Raiders started attacking. And then afterwards was sort of like missing her husband. She made Chet dress up as him, and they were gonna have sex, and then her water broke. And he was just like, I'm here. I guess I should stay here for the birth and help you. And then he's basically been trapped ever since.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's too nice of a person to like not take care of a baby, and she is clearly not going to take care of her baby. Her baby is a prop and nothing more.
Yeah. Yes. So it's a really interesting situation. I'm curious as to
Because
what
Ted had
her.
originally loved Lucy, right?
Yes. Right. He was always trying
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Yep. Um. But they, I'm curious what their mission is yet now. Whether they're. She clearly has a goal, and what are they? We found out she's
Mhm.
Canadian. She's not American.
Yep.
So
Very suspicious.
maybe shouldn't be there. So yeah,
True.
there's still a lot of like just dribbling of things. We have no real progress in most of this, you
Yeah.
know. So the mystery's there, but I feel like a lot of this is going to be next season stuff. I still feel like this season is mostly going to be Lucy, and then where does Maximus go? So Lucy find her
Yeah.
father, and where does Maximus go? And then we're going to have a lot of time yet in the next season of like these people that were set to be overseers coming out now just out and about being fooled into it being reclamation day. I guess how long is that going to
Yes.
last for?
For
It's a
Norm,
little
yeah.
bit.
Norm has got some precarious balance to uphold there
Mhm.
with his lies and his sort of like pretend knowledge of what they're supposed to do. I
Right.
mean, he's already definitely gotten questions on multiple times, and he's covered so far, but it's clear that this won't last forever.
Yep. Yeah, because they need. I understand that the you know people in the fallout shelters are naive to the outer world, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that they're stupid. So there is like I want them to work that balance here with some of these new people. Like they can be gullible, but to a point. I get that they're designed to trust the system and the whole thing. They're not gonna. It's like questioning is not a, but some people do and eventually do, and I want to see like they can still be competent people.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to watch that. Like they shouldn't all be clowns forever.
Yeah, yeah. I think that, like you say, this storyline is going to move fairly slowly. Um, from what is overseer Steph, eye patch woman, doing in
Yeah.
the vaults, and like what's her purpose, what's her experiment, how long is this tension with Betty, overseer in 33, going to go on?
Yeah.
Because Betty doesn't seem to be caring really about Vault-Tec anymore. She just wants to
Trying to
live.
live. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll see kind of like I think the tension play out between them. We've seen we've seen a lot of bumbling from the vault dwellers, especially the older gentleman. I don't remember his name.
Oh,
Who
yes.
cannot literally find his way around 32 versus 33.
Yep.
He's like, I don't know my rights and lefts. Um, and then Woody is also, one of the guys who ran for overseer and lost. He also has like the similar troubles, but then he goes and spies on the meeting between Steph and Betty and reports it to Steph, which is ridiculous. But he does at the end start to question. He's like, it's really weird that I'm reporting it to you. What are you going to do about, you know, giving
I'm gonna
yourself
escalate it.
consequences? Yeah. So he does start to get like, maybe you do have a hint of like, man, I should really have some self-awareness of the absurdity of the situation and start to think independently about it.
Mhm.
um Steph shuffles him out before he can really say much, but you at least I think see
Yeah.
a spark as an audience of like, I'm questioning this isn't
Yep.
normal.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that I think is going to play slowly. I also think Norm's story with the managers is going to play slowly because really the other thing we haven't discussed is Hank. He's
Yes.
in like a super Voltec facility and he's running his own experiments again.
Yep.
He's doing a little like funny day-to-day routine by himself. One is the loneliest number. And then, yeah, suddenly he's just like, should probably pick up on these little box mind control device thingies.
Yes.
Figure it out.
It's, it's a very interesting scene, part of an episode, because it's like, how bad do you want it? that you're going to be run things this inefficiently. Like every
Right?
time you explode a mouse, you're going to drive
My
all the way back. So it's, how about you just take a bunch of them,
right?
get a
Also,
basket.
can we stop exploding the mice? Can we just stop it? Like that was so much. I was like, please stop turning the dial. I just felt at some point I was like, I don't even get this because you're just cranking a dial.
Yeah, it's too far. That's what I was wondering too. Is like, can't we just
Every
like keep
time,
it somewhere a while? Maybe they need to
right?
adjust to a certain
Exactly.
level.
It-
And
See, this is critical thinking
yes,
happening between the two of us. And I was like, can you just like wait? Just give it a second, man.
it's like
See
he
what
just
happens if you do
likes,
something different.
yeah, he just likes the process, squeegeeing that cage clean, that box.
I mean, I'm sure it's very satisfying,
I,
in
I
some
wouldn't be
strange
cleaning
way.
it between everyone. I have to tell you, I just would not be. I was like,
John's got the
okay, I can't.
buildup of 1,000 mice.
It's like, okay, I can't
Uh,
see right now. Let's squeegee a little of
right.
this out, run it again.
Yeah.
The mouse doesn't care. So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it was interesting. I mean, again, it's got that Fallout humor. I
Yep.
enjoyed it. It's supposed to be funny, but yeah, I would still. And then he experiments on a person. He's just like, well, hell with it. Let's get a guy I don't really like and crank that up to
Yeah.
11 too. That's
Yeah.
that's not just
I
like give him a
did.
headache for a while. Let's just crank it to 11.
Yeah. Let's just go. Let's just go. Yeah. No. I found that really interesting. Hank's own, I mean, given what we watched him do in a
Yeah.
flashback early in the season where he, we got this whole heart-wrenching sequence at Shady Sands where, we have a young couple who discovers clean water and they're gonna, be able to set up the community with all of this water, this great resource. We're going to have schools. We're going to have a better life. Maybe we can have more kids. You see them with their kid. And then you see, the arrival of a nuclear explosive device and this heart-wrenching goodbye from the parents. Oh my God. I can't even really think
I
about
know.
it too hard because it got me. It got me
It's
so hard.
anything with
And we
kids, I
watched.
tell you, it just like
Oh
really.
God, it's the worst. It's the worst. And seriously though, kudos to the actors because they did amazing work. And I would think that even if I wasn't feeling the feels as a parent. But we have all of that, and then we see Hank, washing his face and setting down his Pit Boy
Yep.
and reading Lucy a little story and being so, bouncy and chipper after destroying a community.
Yep.
And then we have this Hank who explodes mice indiscriminately and picks out his version of a bad guy
Yeah.
to experiment on. He's like, "Oh, I see you bought safety for yourself and you didn't for the rest of your family because of the money.
Yeah.
I, a mass murderer, am going to judge you."
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Oh
If only
man,
he
it was
knew.
so
Yeah.
absurd. It was so
Yep.
absurd. But also, of course, Hank, to keep himself going, has to believe he has a moral code and
Right.
lines that, shouldn't be crossed. And here apparently is one of them.
Yep. Right. One more thing on that too, the parents and kids scene there.
Ugh.
It just
Ugh.
makes me that makes Maximus so much more tragic because the line is like, it's okay. We raised him right,
I know. I was thinking
and
that too.
and then it flashes for us like, what are you doing with here? Like your parents would be so upset with you right now.
Yes,
So,
yes. Yep. Yeah, I had the exact same thought. So kudos for living in the same mind. Yeah,
that's
that
what I'm
was
rooting
really
for him
hard.
though. It
Yeah,
really makes me root for him.
yeah, it does. That's the trouble with Maximus. Just when you think I don't really like you, there's something that he does to pull you in, or we see his backstory and that pulls you in. It did. Watching that scene of Shady Sands, though, it did also I think hit a little bit harder home the complexity of his potential relationship with Lucy, because her dad, of course, did do that and is responsible
Sure.
for the biggest
Yes.
trauma of his life. So yeah, so it really just hit home for me as an audience member to see that and see the devastation and realize like her dad is part of that. I woke up, I don't know where she is. I don't know where her dad is. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking like they did run away together, or like she, gave up on me or something.
Yeah. Right.
It does add a dimension of distrust to their relationship and hurt, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But still, Maximus, you don't know. Go find the answers. Learn for
Yep.
yourself.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, he's got to go somewhere now. So.
Yeah. He and Thaddeus are on the run.
He'll stumble across New Vegas.
I did enjoy Thaddeus in the suits. That was really funny.
I'm having a panic attack, I think. What's that?
What is that? I enjoyed his like first attempts to be that guy.
Yeah.
Xander, where he was like, I'm here, let's do this, let's go, bro. What's up? Like he definitely had like that dialogue down. It was just literally like him getting in and out of doorways in the vertibird that I was like, oh, dude, painful. But yeah, good comedic moments too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, and I really want Maximus's jacket. If they make that jacket like a nice one or something that's kind of like it, I could use that jacket. So
yeah, that's some style points. I would give that to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't want one of the Roman Legion outfits?
Less, yeah.
Or maybe the Khan jackets or the Elvis dudes. You don't want a wig?
No.
Little bouffant?
No. I love the little
pompadour.
I love all the mistakes from translation or whatever that the Legion has. It's like I think it's Caesar. Yeah.
That was one of the best things. Yeah. She's like, Kaiser's German. He's like, no, it is Kaiser. Enjoyable.
So so overall, these 4 episodes here, the first half of season 2, overall, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs up. I think I have a little bit more minor complaints in season 2 that I had in season 1. But definitely nothing that, nothing that's, totally ruining any of the vibes for me or any part of the show. I just am looking forward to the second half and hoping maybe some of my small complaints would be resolved, with some character growth, with some story explanation, with, just small tweaks here and there.
Sure. Okay.
How about you? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, thumbs up. I'm enjoying every episode. Every episode has been solid, and again, season 1 got shockingly philosophical, and I didn't expect that, and it was really good. So I'd be interested if we had some more of that. Like, I'm still interested in more of like the ghoul's wife and how she got there, and what he decides to do that led to everything in the past. So like, I'm very intrigued by that story. And yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of questions, but it's kind of right. We got our main stuff that we're following, and then there's enough extra loose threads to keep us knowing we're going to have to come back for a long time here yet. So
right, yeah, good loose threads to keep picking at, but and unraveling little by little.
Yep. Very good. All right, well, that's Fallout season 2, episodes 1 through 4. If you are watching the show, let us know if you agree, if you've played the game, if it's sufficiently like the games. I think that from what I've seen, most people are pretty satisfied. Fans, like, it's one of those things that's like sometimes I think it's impossible to make fans happy or whatever, but I don't hear a lot of complaints, I guess, about the show in terms of that. So I think that's great.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes me want to go pick up one of the games. I did read through, the evolution of some of the Fallout games just to kind of familiarize myself, and they seem fun. Like I would enjoy them.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Well,
Borderlands feel at times.
Yeah, sure. Certainly in that environment. I think I hope this summer there's rumors of a kind of remake of some sort of like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Don't know if that's going to come to pass, but that would be cool and good place to start, I think, if that happens. So, yeah. But okay, that's Popcast on the Rocks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe in all the applicable places. Again, we're live now on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and X. So anywhere you want to find us, you can. We're also on podcast directories like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're monetized on Rumble, so you can always like tip us there and all that sort of thing, whatever you'd like to do. Killing the Flower, they wrote a theme song. Check them out on music streaming services. TrackMouse34, that's Mike. He's on Instagram and YouTube. He does racing content. Peter J. Gilbertson, you should check his books out on Amazon.com. And let's see if there's one other thing I was going to mention, I thought, but I'm blanking on it now. Oh, yeah. Next week should be another Ohio Anime. That's our anime podcast, anime show. We'll have, you can find just on Popcast on the Rocks on a podcast directory, both shows. Both shows will come to you through Popcast on the Rocks, both this show and Ohio Anime. If you're only interested in anime or you want to keep that separate or something like that, you can go to our Ohio Anime YouTube page, and that will only be the Ohio Anime shows and clips and that sort of thing. So we should be continuing again, I believe, with Jujutsu Kaisen and Hell's Paradise, most likely, keeping those going. Being, we're waiting on Frieren for English stuff.
Yeah, the first episode in English premieres or it comes out this Friday, and then they're going to have 2 and 3 the next Friday.
Okay, so
that's my understanding.
Maybe this next one is Jujutsu Kaisen and Hell's Paradise, and then after that we do a Tojima or a little catch up on Frieren or something like that. We'll see. But those are the kind of series we're eyeing and stuff. So if you're interested in those, make sure you're following along. And if you want to see card unboxing, let me know that as well. Otherwise,
I vote for that
tonight. You vote for that? Okay.
I vote for that. I would watch that.
Okay. All right. Well, you can. I mean, if you're free, you can jump on if you're around, and then just we'll just talk Marvel stuff. So
sounds good.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for showing up, being part of our show, and Andrea, thanks for joining me as always. See you right next time.
Of course. Cheers, everybody.